Jacksonville Jaguars have made the playoffs for the first time since the 2017 NFL playoffs, where they lost in the AFC title game against the New England Patriots. This was a showdown between Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. It looked bad, really bad going into half, but the Jags found a way to pull off the improbable 1-point victory, and they'll be facing the Kansas City Chiefs in the next round. Before the game, I wanted to take a second and look back at what happened to the Jags, and more specifically, what happened to Trevor Lawrence in the wild card round. The first play we're looking at is Lawrence's first interception of many on the day. It's a simple second level RPO read. I'm going to break this one down in depth as RPOs are a big part of what Jacksonville likes to run on offense. RPOs are often when offenses isolate one man on the defense and the quarterback's job is to read this single defender and make a run pass option based on their actions. Ideally, it is structured to create a situation in which no matter what the player does, he's wrong, just as long as the quarterback's able to make the correct read. On this play, I have highlighted the linebacker in which Trevor Lawrence is reading. Offensively, we have an option to hand this ball off to Etienne with two pulling interior offensive linemen, or we can throw this slant working out of the slot. We know who Lawrence is reading. If that defender stays back in coverage, we have a hat on a hat, 5 blockers versus 5 defenders, and this ball needs to be handed off to Travis Etienne. If the linebacker we're keying advances towards the line of scrimmage to play the run, this ball is supposed to get pulled and ripped to this slant working the middle of the field. We will see the linebacker step up to play the run, and Lawrence tries to rip this behind him to the slant. Unfortunately for Lawrence, his right guard gets beaten off the line of scrimmage badly, and the interior defensive lineman is able to get his hands up and get the deflection, and this causes the throw to be intercepted. For this reason, I actually don't put the interception on Lawrence very much at all. We'll watch it once again from the end zone angle, and again I'll key this read. Right here, we can see Lawrence is looking right at number 49 to read his movements. Number 49 steps up. Lawrence pulls this ball to make the throw. At about the same time, we can see this right guard is not in a good place. He gets beat so badly because he's down blocking to sell the rush and anticipating the interior defensive lineman to crash in and try to make a play on the ball carrier. The interior defensive lineman is actually going to give a good shoulder fake inside and then rub off that right guard's outside shoulder and put himself right in the throwing window. I'm not sure if this interior defensive lineman is getting lucky here or if he read this play by watching film earlier in the week. Either way, this was an outstanding play by the defender here. The ball gets tipped, then popped into the air, and then intercepted. The next play is a variant of a scissors concept. We're going to have a big post and this corner route concept working together. We're keying this guy right here, and I'll explain why. I'm seeing this as a cover 3 in the form of 2 quarters and a half field zone, meaning we're in quarters coverage to the field and a half field coverage to the boundary as I have drawn. The outside corner is going to run with the big post, and this dropping coverage linebacker is going to run with this corner. The half field safety is going to have his attention on this deep over crossing his face. This brings us back to our read. The reason this is our read is because if he runs with the post, like he probably should, we have the corner open over the top. If he reads and plays the corner, he leaves us with a deep shot on the big post. As we let this play, he kind of sets his feet in an attempt to play both, which actually leaves him in a position to defend neither. Lawrence has the opportunity to take a shot at either the big post here or the corner. Neither answer are wrong. Lawrence decides to rip this corner, and he throws an absolutely beautiful ball here to Evan Ingram for a huge gain. The ball placement here was really impressive. On the next play, there's a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. As we can see here, Christian Kirk is in motion, and the defender carried with him. This is an indicator of off-man coverage. With everyone set, the defense is showing a cover 2 shell man defense. However, the cover 2 shell was only disguising the cover 1 lurk look that they rotated into at the snap. Cover 1 lurk is when the defense drops a free safety into the box to take away any inside crossing routes that would have been there against a cover 2 look. It essentially baits the quarterback to throw an interception. The other variation of this is bringing a strong safety into the box, which is considered a cover 1 robber concept. At the snap, Lawrence's eyes go immediately to the slant, and it brings the lurk safety to the route. Lawrence doesn't throw it, climbs the pocket, and then throws it in the second window where the lurk safety just vacated. Lawrence leaves this maybe a touch behind his receiver, and the play gets broken up. This was a pretty savvy move by Lawrence, and not a bad decision. There was a lot of good processing here from Lawrence. The only critique I would have is that he could have glanced at the slant, moved that lurk safety to come back to that in route by Marvin Jones with the lurk safety vacating the middle of the field. Overall, though, this is a really nice play by Lawrence and shows that he's processing the game in real time. He will only get better as time goes on, but these are promising things to see early in his career. The next play is another Trevor Lawrence interception, this time on 4th and 7. The play call is my least favorite call in any situation at any point of any game. It's all hitch. Underneath, we have a flat route by Etienne and a bluff to the flat by Evan Ingram. As these routes develop, you can see at the stems that there is zero separation created, which is what seemingly always happens in all hitch, thus why I dislike this play so strongly. The only place I see as a viable option to go with the ball here is to Evan Ingram in the flat. Does he turn it up the field and pick up the first down? I don't know. You tell me. But I like that as an option way more than I like forcing a 4th down prayer on all hitch. Lawrence gets to the back of his drop and just tries to fit this to Zay Jones. It's a 4th down play, so there's nothing to lose. My personal opinion is scheme and play calling let Lawrence down on this play. The next play is bad on a couple people and should have never happened. We have a mesh concept. For those unfamiliar, it means we have two shallow drag routes intersecting at the center of the field. This is a very basic level, day one training camp install. This mesh concept is paired with a deep over and a corner route. The mesh is our first read here, so what's supposed to happen is that these two are supposed to cross at the center of the field at the same time. In man, these corners trailing have to go over the top unless they switch responsibilities. When they have to go over the top, they lose that hip pocket and the receiver gets the ball out in front of them and typically leads to a very nice gain. This is a very easy read for the quarterback. Now, against zone, your receivers are taught to find the soft spot and stop right in front of the quarterback's face for a nice easy completion. I'll let this play. As you can see, these corners are going to sit, indicating zone coverage. Evan Ingram or Marvin Jones have to be looking at this corner and recognize that it's a zone and cut off their route right here. It looks like Marvin Jones begins to throttle down this route, but Evan Ingram does not. Lawrence sees Ingram not throttling down, but still throws it to him anyway, and it leads to his third interceptions of the game. From the other angle, we see Lawrence's eyes go to the mesh concept, and he gets it to Ingram. To me, it looks like he doesn't even see the corner, who at this point in the game now has two interceptions of Lawrence. The Jags run mesh a lot, so naturally, they ran it a few more times this game. I was able to find another one. This is how it's supposed to look. As you can see, the congestion at the intersection of these routes caused confusion and left Christian Kirk to run free right across the middle, wide open. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, Lawrence gets a little lazy with his footwork and short arms this ball, and it's well behind Kirk and falls incomplete. Lawrence needs to be more accurate than this. This is an easy pitch and catch here, and it's just a miss. Again, like I said, the Jaguars run a lot of mesh. This time there's a wrinkle of mesh hook here where the Chargers are running a zone against it. But as you can see, the C's begin to part here right over the middle. Lawrence has Marvin Jones wide open over the middle on this hook route. This is a commonly ran variation of mesh with an extra little wrinkle to kind of take advantage of some zone defenses. The next play is a really great route run by Marvin Jones for a touchdown. Jones absolutely works his defensive back at the stem of his route and comes completely free in the end zone. Lawrence is going to see this. He gets the ball out of his hands quickly for the easy score. The end zone angle doesn't quite capture just how clean of a route this was, unfortunately, but this was a really good play by Jones and Lawrence together. The next two plays are smash concepts working the high-low game. On the first, Evan Ingram is going to be running an in route, and Christian Kirk will be running an out route. Christian Kirk runs a really nice route here and creates good separation at the stem of his route, turning the defensive back around. He breaks to the sideline. Lawrence is going to read this high to low and sees Kirk has leverage to the outside and gets this out for an easy first down. On the next play, again, it's a smash concept reading high to low. Zay Jones is going to be running a shallow hitch route, and Christian Kirk is going to be running an out route. Kirk again gets outside leverage, this time in the end zone. Again, Lawrence sees this, places this ball nicely inside Christian Kirk's frame, and Kirk comes down with it for the much-needed touchdown. The final play I want to show is a two-point conversion. To me, it looks like this play was designed to be a tunnel screen for Evan Ingram at the top of the screen, but the ball was at the 1-yard line because of the penalty, and Lawrence simply decides to take the ball and use his long frame and reach it across to make the two-point conversion himself. This was a gutsy play by Lawrence, but it paid off big time as this was the difference in the score at the end of the day. All in all, after watching this game, the Jags dug themselves a big hole early. They lost a turnover battle by 5 turnovers, which is an absolutely insane margin, even more ridiculous when you remind yourself that they won the game. The Jags cannot have a -5 turnover differential this week against the Chiefs and expect to win. They, especially Trevor Lawrence, have to clean up their game if they expect to have a chance this week against Kansas City. My vote says the Chiefs win, but tell me your thoughts. What did you think about this game? What do you think about the Jags versus the Chiefs this weekend? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like always, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Other than that, that's all for this video. We'll see you next time. Peace.